Are all losses and wins looked at as the same? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the boxing guru. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. Like this video, it helps me with the algorithm, helps grow this channel. But enough about that. So today we're here to talk about a new boxing grading system as to look at for resumes. So for an example is when we see a fighter, he's 44-0, he's 52-1, he's whatever kind of record is, it's hard to decipher, is this guy record just all fluff or did he beat a lot of fighters? And with this new grading system I got that I created, it definitely helps clarify that. So there are 6 different types of wins, 4 different types of losses, and 3 different types of draws. So I'm going to get into detail on how each of them work and how I grade them. So basically, the first type of win is a RW, a regular win. This is when you fight a fighter who's a journeyman or somebody who's moving up in weight, and he's fighting clearly out of his weight class and you should beat him, or somebody way past his prime. Basically, a RW is basically a win, a person you should have beaten. That's basically what a RW is. The second type of win is a SW, a solid win. Basically, this stands for somebody who was maybe a really tough contender. Maybe they held the title once for a short amount of time. Somebody who was a solid fighter, but not necessarily somebody, super great or amazing. The third type of win is a quality win, a QW. Basically, a QW is somebody who was maybe a champion 2-3 times, but not quite Hall of Famer. Somebody who definitely left a mark in boxing, but again, not quite a Hall of Famer. That's a QW. And the fourth type of win is a GW. And that's a great win. That pretty much, this is when you beat a Hall of Famer in his prime. That's a great win. And that's pretty straightforward. And the fifth type of win, these are very rare to come by, but some fighters are that great that they require this designation, is a ultimate win. Basically, an ultimate win is when you beat a Hall of Fame fighter where you were the underdog. And I don't mean underdog like 1-2. I mean underdog like 1-5, 1-7, 1-22. One of these huge underdogs, or not necessarily huge, but where you're a significant underdog. When you won, people were surprised. It wasn't just a given that, oh yeah, he should have beaten him. And the last type of win, the sixth type of win, is a LW. This is a loss win. This is when you robbed another fighter. Basically, you got the decision, but you shouldn't have gotten the decision. And I feel like all these types of wins are clarified when a person's record is 40-0. When you divide them, it's like, all right, he had 20 RWs, this amount of SWs, this amount of QWs, this amount of GWs, so on and so forth. And so there are also 4 different types of losses, as I mentioned earlier. The first type of loss is a LL. That's a legit loss. Basically, it's pretty straightforward. Is when you clearly lost, and yeah, that's pretty straightforward. The second type of loss is actually my favorite designation on this grading system. Is called a TL, a tough loss. So the reason it's my favorite is because a lot of times we'll just with this, ever since Floyd Mayweather retired undefeated, now we look at that as the gold standard, and we have to understand, like, Floyd Mayweather was somebody really special. Like, not everybody's gonna have a perfect record. So a TL is basically a tough loss. This is when a fighter fought a fight where he lost to somebody who was either greater than him or equal, and it was a close fight. The fight probably could have gone either way. Or he put up a good fight. Enough people, he put up a good showing of him. Maybe it was a 50-50 fight or 60-45 or 55-45 fight, but it was a close fight. The guy put up a good account of account for himself. An example of this is Sean Porter when he lost to Errol Spence. That's a TL. That's a tough loss. So the third type of loss is a BL, a bad loss. That's basically when you lose to an inferior fighter. Like when my man right here, Mike Tyson, lost to Buster Douglas. That's a BL. That's a bad loss. And the fourth type of loss is a WL. Basically, this will also help when you're looking at a fighter's resume and you see a WL is a win-loss. So basically, it's when a fighter got robbed. So a lot of times we'll see a fighter, he'll be 13-3 and we'll be like, damn, he got 3 losses. But if all 3 of those are WLs, you look at his resume a different way because you be like, oh, he was robbed 3 times. So that's another one of my favorites that I've made in this grading system. The third type, excuse me, there are 3 types of draws, and I'm here to explain. So the first is a LD, a loss draw. Basically, that's when you got a draw and you really should have gotten a loss. And a perfect example of this is Julio Cesar Chavez versus Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker clearly won that fight, and they gave the fight a draw. So I would give a LD to Julio Cesar Chavez for this. And in reverse, the second type of draw is a WD. I would have given Pernell Whitaker a WD because he really beat Julio Cesar Chavez, but it just so happened he didn't get the decision and it was ruled a draw. So again, that also helps when we're looking at resumes, when we're like, oh, this guy has 2 draws. If one of them is a WD, you may look at his record a different way. And the last one is just a regular D, a draw. So that's basically when it's a 50-50 fight and the fight probably could have gone either way. Maybe you thought one fighter won, but you're not mad that the fight was ruled a draw. So that's the way I look. That's the third draw. It's just a D. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to be making videos breaking down people's resume and stuff like that. So if there's any fighter in particular you want me to break down their resume fight by fight, please comment in the comment section. And yeah, thank you so much for staying here to the end. Follow me on Twitter @_Broadway Joel. Until next time, peace.